Okay, dear children, now let us start with macroeconomics, which is for the semester 2 examination. Okay, so before we jump into the discussion, I just want to give you the introduction of macroeconomics. I hope you already know this from class 11. Okay, but still, I want to give you a brief introduction about macroeconomics. So now, so far, we have discussed out here since class 11 that in the 18th century, the definition of economics was given by Adam Smith. Okay, and in 19th century also, the definition was given by Alfred Marshall. Okay, this is I mean the Adam Smith gave the wealth-oriented definition, Alfred Marshall welfare-oriented definition. Then Lionel Robbins, he gave us the scarcity-oriented definition, and Paul Samuelson, both Lionel Robbins and Paul Samuelson in 20th century, they gave us this. I mean the scarcity-oriented definition and the wealth-oriented definition. Okay, but this Adam Smith, the father of economics, okay, he gave us the definition in 18th century. Okay, but we already know that economics is as old as the human civilization. But the documentation was done by Adam Smith during the 18th century. Okay, so when he started the, he started giving the, the platform to economics. It was completely at the micro level. Okay, even when Alfred Marshall, the founder of the neoclassical economics, okay, he also gave us the definition of economics in a micro level. Okay, but something happened in 20th century. Okay, so that changed everything, and that something is actually the Great Depression. Okay, the Great Depression in the year 1930s. In fact, in some book you will find 1929. In some book you will find 1930s. Actually, in American countries, okay, uh, it took place in the year 1930s. Okay, but in most of the part of the world, it already started in the year 1929. Okay, so in some book you will find the year 1929, and in some book you will find 1930s. Okay, let us stick to 1930s only. Now, in 1930s, there was a British economist called John Maynard Keynes, simply J.M. Keynes. So he gave us a very different kind of definition of economics. Okay, let me just show you his definition. See, the definition is talking about the theory of economics is a method rather than a doctrine. Okay, by doctrine we mean this only a theory. Okay, just writing a theory, an applause of mind, a technique of thinking which helps its possessor to draw correct conclusions. So James Keynes is giving us a mathematical approach, okay, a logical approach, okay, using our reasoning abilities, okay, to have a look at the theory of economics. Okay, whatever the theories are there, okay, it's fine. Whatever the doctrines are already there, it's okay, good, it's nice. But what about the methodology of understanding that particular theory? Okay, what about the technique of thinking? Okay, so we can draw correct conclusions. By correct conclusions, we are actually talking about the uh, relation with mathematics. I mean the theory and the mathematics. I mean the relationship between the theory and the mathematics. Okay, so here we will be seeing economics in a mathematical approach. Okay, so whenever we talk about mathematical approach, there are actually basically two things. Okay, additive method and deductive method. Okay, we don't need to go in detail about those sections, but J.M. Keynes said something during the Great Depression. Actually, he came up with this book, The General Theory of uh, Interest, Employment, something like that. It's there. I forgot the name. Uh, in his book, he talked about the interference of government as well. Okay, and there was a fight between Robbins and Keynes. So Lionel Robbins, all these people, Adam Smith, Marshall, Robbins, Keynes, Samuelson, they all are very famous in this area. Okay, for economics, they are the founding fathers, right? For different kind of theories. But in the 1930s, when he came up with the idea, James Keynes, okay, it was a revolution in the field of economics. So from that time onwards, the economics was divided into two sections. One is called microeconomics, and the other one is called the macroeconomics. So you can see what happened between Robbins and Keynes. So actually, Robbins was opposed to Keynes' theory. I mean, the general theory of interest, employment. Okay, but in fact, Robbins, he already had written a treatise on the Great Depression. Okay, uh, and it was the analysis belonging to that period of his thought. But later, he accepted the need for government intervention. So Robbins was the first person to write a treaty on the Great Depression. Okay, but Keynes, when he came up with 19 sorry when he came up with his theory in the year 1936. Okay, so finally, Robbins also had to agree that there should be the government intervention. So this Great Depression, okay, so this Great Depression, because of the Great Depression only, economics was divided into two sections. One is called microeconomics and macroeconomics. We already know that Adam Smith is known as the father of economics in general, okay, but J.M. Keynes is regarded as the father of macroeconomics. Okay, so whatever the theory that you study in macroeconomics is nothing but Keynesian economics. I mean the theory of J.M. Keynes. Okay, so basically we will study about the uh, aggregate demand, okay, aggregate supply, how the government is like how the government can intervene in the economic sector. Okay, what are the roles of government? Okay, and what is the concept of national income? Okay, consumption. Okay, investment. So we all will discuss in this part that is called macroeconomics. Okay, so the first, I have decided that first we will start with this section, that is chapter 12, 18, 19, and 20. Okay, but first I will start with chapter 18, that is national income. Okay, I mean national income and circular flow of something is there. Okay, and in 19 we will study about the national income aggregates and the methods of measuring national income. Okay, and then we will move on to this section. Okay, chapter number 12, in which we will study about aggregate demand, aggregate supply. Okay, deficit demand. Okay, so we will study about that particular section. Okay,